see. Senator Scott.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman. Well, first off,
I'm sorry,
congratulations.
excuse me, Senator Scott. Senator Ricketts was next. I apologize.
Oh,
Just wasn't paying attention to the list.
I told you.
And I forgot.
Anyway. Well, hey, first of all, thank you to all of our nominees here for your willingness to serve our great nation. And I want to especially thank your families because they will serve alongside you and make it possible for you to be able to serve our country. So thank you very much to the families who are willing to sacrifice along with our nominees here. Mr. Kushner, I'm going to start with you because, again, we've talked about how important the relationship with France is. And, you know, there's been a recent United Nations report confirmed that Iran now possesses enough 60% enriched uranium to produce 6 nuclear warheads. This escalates the threat beyond the U.S. and Israel, posing a direct risk to our allies across the Middle East and Europe. This enrichment defies UN Security Council Resolution 2231, which originally codified in JCPOA. I applaud President Trump's decisive move to reimpose maximum pressure on Iran, as well as entering into negotiations with Iran on a nuclear deal. However, the credibility and strength of these talks hinge on the United States entering with maximum leverage. That's why I've introduced a resolution backed by 18 of my colleagues urging the E3 to trigger the snapback of UN sanctions before the October deadline. The French have supported the snapback of sanctions, but has stated that it's contingent on reaching a nuclear deal. Mr. Kushner, do you believe that restoring UN sanctions would give President Trump a stronger hand in confronting the Iranian regime?
Without a doubt, it would. And why the French have not used that snapback to date is a mystery to me, because I would think that they would have used it. I'm not sure if they don't have the will or the desire, whatever it may be, but I will be pushing that because I think that should be exercised, and it expires within months. So the fact that they have that right and have not used it is a shame. I think we should be standing up and really lobbying very, very hard for them to exercise it. And I think maximum sanctions I think President Trump really has this issue. And it's either going to be negotiated no nuclear, or it's going to have to be an alternative of military. And I think President Trump has made that clear. So I think maximum leverage on the Iranians. I think France and America are in total agreement on that.
Well, Mr. Kushner, that really hardens me to hear you say that because I agree with you 100%. You know, during the first Trump administration, we saw that because of those sanctions, the Trump administration was able to bring Iranian foreign reserves down from $122.5 billion to under $14 billion, and that cut off their ability to be able to fund the terrorism that we see around the world, and continuing to put pressure on the way the Trump administration has is important. You know, my colleague here, Mr. McCormick, was talking about the Indo-Pacific, and that has emerged an area of key threat from communist China. And he talked a little bit about France's role there as well. It's home to 1.6 million French citizens, live across its 7 overseas territories, and over 9 million square kilometers of French exclusive economic zone. Recognizing this, France became the first European country to adopt an Indo-Pacific strategy in 2019. And through the strategy, France has participated in the freedom of navigation exercises that we're talking about through the Taiwan Strait. But, you know, we've seen communist China being incredibly aggressive with their illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive practices in especially relating to our allies like the Philippines and especially Taiwan as well. I authored the Bolster Act to encourage European engagement in support of Taiwan's security with one of the largest militaries in Europe and naval forces as well. Extending their presence to this region, France could really play a great role. Can you talk about how can you work with France to get them to better support Taiwan and the relationship there, given its leadership and France's leadership in the Indo-Pacific?
I think France recognizes the same thing that America recognizes, what a threat China is to the world. I don't think there's daylight between them in terms of assessing them as their capability and their infiltration and stealing technology and all the other things and devaluing currency and robbing us on trade. So I think France and America are very aligned. It's just that France has to step up to be more aggressive, like America is now stepping up to be more aggressive. And I see it as my job as a future ambassador to meet with the officials and apply that pressure, knowing that they should be more in step lock with the American policy. So I'm all for your proposal, and I'm all for supporting it.
Great. Well, hey, thank you very
And
much.
being a cheerleader for it.
All right, great. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kushner. And again, I hope that once you're confirmed as ambassador, that you'll work with whoever is in leadership in France, whether it's President Macron or somebody else, to remember that even though we certainly respect France as having their own policies and and wanting to have the independence from the United States that they deserve as a sovereign nation, that we work better together as a team, and that especially when we're confronting communist China, this is the single biggest threat that we faced internationally, but it's not just a threat to the United States, it's a threat to France and all the other freedom-loving countries in the world, because Xi Jinping is a dictator who's bent on world domination. And for France to go a separate way from the United States would undermine our collective security. So I hope you'll emphasize that when you get there. Thank you.
Well said, Senator Ricketts, well said.